Hi, I'm Mary Jane Foster, president of Interval House, and I'm here to first of all say welcome to virtual events and live stuff. You never know what's going to happen and you just roll with it, and that's what we're doing. So here we go. Welcome to Interval House's first ever virtual event. Usually we come together once a year and we celebrate by stepping up and stepping out. This year, we are going to celebrate by stepping up and staying in. Now, we may not be walking that red carpet with Joe Fury. We may not be standing in front of those magnificent doors at the Society Room, but we are all here together. We are here coming together just this once a year time that we do to celebrate the work of Interval House, the victims and the survivors, the incredibly talented and dedicated staff we have. And of course, we are here to celebrate you because without you, we could not do the work that we do. Now, obviously, you've just seen for yourself, this is a first time event, it's a virtual event, but for us, it sure doesn't feel virtual. It feels really live. And that's because we're coming to you live. So I just want to take a minute and thank our incredibly wonderful Director of Development, Amanda Delora, because she took this idea, she ran with it. She recruited a crackerjack group of tech folks from Salome, which is a Hartford-based company that has a strong commitment to volunteer work in the and service in the community. And thanks to them, we have Adam, Tyler, and Jen who have donated, I can't tell you how many hours to put this all together for us. It would not have happened without all of you. So thank you. We're here. Real, live, virtual, we're here. I'd also like to thank Haley Boucher and David Rivera for their work in making all of our details happen. Again, it wouldn't have happened without everybody working incredibly hard. So here we are. Most of you know that Interval House is the state's largest domestic violence agency. We are the largest agency in the state because we serve Hartford and the surrounding 23 towns and cities. We receive the greatest number of calls to our hotline. We carry the biggest caseloads in the criminal and civil courts. We have 25 beds in our safe house. And every year we reach between 12 and 15,000 people in our community education programs. We represent rural, suburban, urban, flat out poverty, and great wealth. All races, all religions. We are diverse. We are diverse because domestic violence is diverse. It doesn't discriminate, and neither do we. And so our reach is broad and inclusive because that's what it is. That's the face of domestic violence. Um, these are perilous times, really perilous times. Research has been done that shows us that in times of crisis, domestic violence increases in both intensity and frequency. Isolation is like the perfect construct for an abuser. The fewer family, the fewer friends, the fewer colleagues, the fewer activities, the better. So you may not be hearing about it now. You may not be hearing about it right now, but we all know from history that it's out there. Now, across the state, people are seeing different things. In some cases, the numbers are level with last year. In some areas, there have been sporadic increases or spikes. And in Hartford, we have seen a 20% rise in calls, domestic violence calls, to the Hartford Police Department. And I really want to thank Chief of Police Jason Thody, who reassigned 4 officers to the domestic violence unit so that we can respond quickly, consistently, and effectively to keep victims safer. Thank you so very, very much, Chief Thody. I also decided I'd like to share a story with you. These are perilous times. And this is kind of a complicated story. It's a story about abuse and stalking and COVID and economics and safety. We have a client, a survivor, who left her abuser with her children and found a safe place to live. Twice he found her and he found her and twice tried to break in. And at the time he was breaking in, he actually believed he was infected with the coronavirus. So there was a protective order, there had been criminal charges, and he still did everything he could to reach her and endanger her. So we knew she had to move. We knew she couldn't be safe where she was. So she found a safer place to live. And thanks to you, we were able to help her with a security deposit. And thanks to you, we were able to give her a bus pass and gift cards for necessities like food. And believe it or not, in these times, she lost her part-time job as well. So she was living on just a small amount of state assistance. We've been able, thanks to you, to get her stabilized. So far, everybody's safe. Everybody is healthy. We have her application in to the Secretary of State for the Address Confidentiality Program, and we're doing all that we can to keep her safe. But we could not do that without you, and I wanted you to hear that story. We have been just amazed by the generosity, the extraordinary generosity of so many people, well, throughout this last year, but most especially these last couple of months. It has really been exceptional, and we are profoundly grateful. I would like to take just a minute now and thank our sponsors because they glitter too. So, are all that glitter sponsors? Are the Bank of America? I believe the Bank of America is unique in corporate America for its commitment to domestic violence. I'd also like to thank Fox 61 for its consistent support. Years ago, they lost a key member of their team to domestic violence, and they have never, ever forgotten. And to the Pettit Foundation, Family Foundation, who are such a critical part of the work that we do with our children who have been a part of and witness to family violence. A very special thanks to those sponsors. And now, please welcome Dr. William Pettit.
Hi, everybody. This is Dr. Bill Pettit. I am the president of the Pettit Family Foundation. We have been supporters of Interval House CT over the past decade, and especially at this time during the COVID-19 pandemic, when it's difficult to raise funds and the need is greater than ever. It's critical for us to reach out to our friends and neighbors and ask them to support the efforts of Interval House, and in fact of all the domestic violence organizations in the state under the aegis of CCADV, the Connecticut Coalition Against Domestic Violence. We know that unfortunately during this pandemic that domestic violence incidents are up, and it's critical for us to remain vigilant and try to help these organizations as best we can. So the Pettit Family Foundation is very happy once again to support the efforts of Interval House as well as all the other organizations throughout the state. Thank you very much for all you do to help victims of domestic violence or intimate partner violence.
And now to Joe Gianni. Joe is the market president of Greater Hartford of Bank of America.
Clients and our customers, but mainly to keep our teammates safe. But for some, staying at home may not always be a safe haven. For those in an abusive relationship, the toxic recipe of stress, violence, and fear can often impair one's judgment of how to get out of a terrible situation. But there's always a way out. Mary Jane Foster and her team at Interval House are always providing a pathway to get out. Please join me in supporting the work of Interval House, whether it's crisis counseling, safety planning, or emergency shelter. The work of Interval House is critical. Their work today is vital. On behalf of my teammates here at Bank of America, stay healthy, stay positive, and stay safe.
And now, our gold sponsors. To Webster Bank, a founding sponsor of our gala and year-round supporter of our cause, thank you. To Judith and Brewster Perkins, longtime friends and boosters of Interval House, thank you both so much. And to Hartford Steam Boiler for their long-standing support. Thank you all. To our Purple Ribbon sponsors, Ed and Carol Roble, Cindy and Michael Klein, Halloran and Sage, and People's United Bank. You all have provided funds vital for our mission. Thank you. And thank you to our pajama patron sponsors, Accounting Resources Incorporated, Connecticut Children, Highland Park Market, the Kelser Corporation, Main Street Office Center, Nassau Reinsurance, the Honorable Sherry Cantor, and me, because I have always aspired to be a patron of pajamas. Next, our coffee table hosts are Adam and Amanda Delora, Apex Refrigeration, Cooling, and Heating, Brian and Heather Flannery, Icy Mounds, Prasad Menon, Mosaic Printing, Sharon Alleman, CFP, Susie Hurlbert, Eastern Connecticut Association of Realtors, and Trump. Thank you all. And finally, to our SOFA supporters. We could never do without SOFA supporters. We say thanks to Candlelight Writing Workshops, Chuck Corsi, George and Diana Jepson, John and Mary Ellen Turgeon, New England Capital, Nilda Fernandez, Remy and Hi Schwartz, Sylvia DeHaas Phillips, and Tammy Fisher. We are so fortunate to have so many people looking out for us as we do this work. You make all of the difference, and I want you all to know how profoundly grateful we are for the support. And so thanks again for slipping on those slippers or those stilettos or whatever it is you're wearing and staying in with us tonight. We have so many unmet needs in this crisis, which is not to say that we don't usually, because that's who we are and the work that we do. And we had no idea at all whether a virtual event would work or not. But what we did know is that we had a gap, and that gap had to be filled. So onward we moved to a virtual event, and we set a very significant goal. I wouldn't call it lofty, because what I need for you to know about this goal is that it is not a goal to surplus. It is a goal to meet need. It is absolutely a goal to meet need. So if you look down at the bottom of your screen, you will see the progress that we have made to our goal. And I am just incredibly proud and pleased and excited that we have made so much progress. I mean, really, it's been remarkable, really, really remarkable. And I'm thankful and proud. But I am going to ask all of you to step up. Please step up again and help us reach our goal and meet our needs. Here's what you can do. You can text Step Up 2020 to 76278. That's Step Up 2020 to 76278, or you can go to stepup2020.givesmart.com and make a contribution. I hope you'll do that for us tonight. I hope that we will reach our goal. Don't be shy. Again, it's text to Step Up 2020 to 76278, or stepup2020.givesmart.com. I mean, just think about it. You didn't have to buy a dress. You didn't have to pay for parking. You didn't have to hire a babysitter. Heck, you even get to sit around in your sweats and hang out with us. So please text Step Up 2020 to 76278 and make your contributions. We so appreciate it. We're almost at that goal, and I know you can get us there tonight. And now, I would like to welcome our very special guest, our MC for the evening, longtime friend of Interval House, Brad Drazen. Brad is the Vice President for Communications and Marketing at the Hartford Foundation for Public Giving. And we're so grateful that he would take the time and be here with us tonight. But first, I would like to introduce you to Thea Montanez, our fabulous honorary chair of tonight's event. Thea is the Chief Operating Officer for the City of Hartford, and we're honored that she is with us. Thank you, Thea.
I am so proud to be this year's honorary chairwoman of Interval House's Step Up and Step In virtual gala. I'm also really proud to live in a community that's home to the largest agency in the state of Connecticut dedicated to ending domestic violence. Just this past November, our police department here in the city of Hartford announced a historic partnership. For the first time ever, Interval House has a full-time advocate embedded in the Hartford Police Department's headquarters, working directly with victims of domestic violence and law enforcement. Mary Jane, we are so grateful to you and your incredibly caring and compassionate team that's doing life-saving work each and every day. And we're also grateful to your community of generous supporters that help make that possible. So on behalf of the City of Hartford, thank you. Thank you for everything that you do to keep our community safe.
Good evening, everyone. As Mary Jane said, I'm Brad Drazen, and I'm so glad to be here with you tonight in this odd moment in our lives, but this very, very important event on behalf of Interval House. In my role with the Hartford Foundation, I have the pleasure and the benefit of working with a whole array of wonderful nonprofit organizations across Greater Hartford. And it is my pleasure and privilege to have worked with Interval House for quite some time, over a very long period of time, a decade now. I was one of the founding members of the Men Make a Difference, Men Against Domestic Violence campaign that goes back 10 years now. And I've tried to be a bit of an ambassador for Interval House and the work and raising awareness of this problem in our community for a long time, but never before have I done it in stocking feet. I'm gonna do the favor of not showing you my feet, but I have a feeling it might be very similar to the way you are sitting right now, despite the shirt and tie. First shirt and tie in about 8 weeks as well. It feels a little bit odd. So through my work with Interval House and the men's group, I've learned that all of us, men and women alike, both play an integral role in the prevention and intervention of domestic violence. And Interval House works tirelessly, not just to serve the victims, but to spread awareness in our communities that there is never an excuse for abuse. And that's why I'm here tonight. And I want to ask you to all be aware of the inconvenient truth that domestic violence is in fact all around us. And as you heard Mary Jane say, even more so in this strange time of COVID. Sometimes it's visible, but more often than not, it happens behind closed doors where victims are isolated from help. And sadly, sometimes we don't learn about it until it's too late. But in that precarious moment between unspeakable abuse and a victim finding a way out is Interval House, with 24-hour hotline, crisis hotline, emergency safe house, outreach through local police departments to intervene and provide victims a chance to escape. Interval House saves lives. It's as simple as that. And tonight, we hope you will join us and be an active participant with Interval House. So we want you to donate. You heard Mary Jane say you're going to hear it again a few times. So through your mobile phone, text STEP UP 2020 to 76278. Our auction closes in just a couple minutes. You'll have a minute or two to place your final bids, purchase a few raffle tickets, and you'll be prompted via text message if you hold the winning bid. Interval House team will be in touch with you shortly after the event to arrange the delivery of what you get. So right now, I want to take a minute to share a personal message from another member of the men's group, another founding member, the straw that stirs the drink, so to speak, and that is U.S. Senator Richard Blumenthal.
I'm Richard Blumenthal, your United States Senator, and I'm proud and grateful to support Interval House, especially this virtual gala, Step Up and Stay In. I've seen firsthand the work of Interval House, not only as a public official, but also as a founding member of Men Make a Difference, Men Against Domestic Violence. That work is more important than ever in a time when so many families are confined at home with rising tensions and anxiety. And so reports of domestic violence and abuse are rising as well. You can help, and you are, through this gala. Thank you for doing so. Thank you to all the supporters and sponsors. I'm proud to be with you and stand with Interval House tonight.
Thanks so much, Senator. And Senator Blumenthal knows very well the importance of being an outspoken advocate for victims. And I hope you do as well. I see the donations coming in. You see the names scrolling on your screen. Dawn, thank you so much. Kathleen, your support is really, really important tonight. All of the sponsors that Mary Jane mentioned, Mary Jane herself, of course, is making a donation tonight in honor of this event. And Stephanie, thank you so much. Interval House cannot do this work without you. We are here to let victims know they are not alone in their struggle for safety, for justice, and for survival. Speaking of that, I have the pleasure right now to introduce our next speaker, Lillian Ajoma, and her story is nothing short of miraculous. As you listen to her speak about how Interval House has helped her change the direction of her life, consider how you can help others like her who are currently fighting for their lives, trapped in similar situations and yearning for freedom from abuse. Again, at any time during this program, you can text STEP UP 2020 to 76278 to help Interval House save lives. And now, here's Lillian.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Lillian Ijama, and I am a survivor. Thank you for joining us today to support Interval House, the life-changing work they do each day to save women and children. I would like to share my story and tell you how the work they do transformed my life. I was born in Nigeria, and my parents were not able to send me to college, so I got married after high school in 1994. Not knowing what to expect after the marriage, my ex-husband isolated me from everyone, including my family members. I thought he loved me so much and was protecting me, and needless to say that the abuse started early in our marriage in Nigeria, even when I was pregnant with our first child. In Nigerian culture, women are supposed to be submissive, and my faith supports that as well. So I did everything I could to be a good wife, described in Proverbs chapter 31, and a good mother to my kids. I learned everything I know about relationship from him. And so I believe that he loved me so much, even though his actions did not show that most of the time. We moved to the United States in 1997 and settled in East Hartford. He had a difficult time adjusting to the American culture because for the first time, he had to change diapers, throw out the trash, and babysit our kids sometimes since we both had to work. I was abused physically, sexually, economically, emotionally, and every other way you can think of. And as the year went by, the abuse continued to be intense. The abuse continued for a long time, and I confided in someone who told me to call the police for him, which I did. He was bailed out by a family friend. The same family friend observed his comments, actions, and anger when he came home and took me aside and told me that if I had to be able to be free from this situation, I must go back to school to be able to support and take care of my kids, and that if I have to depend on him for anything, I would live a miserable life. I took the advice very seriously and listened. At the time, I was always making excuses for him. And as our kids were growing older, it became more difficult to do that. So I started going to school, eventually earned two master's degree, and now program director and a doctoral candidate at CCSU. In February 2012, when the last incident happened, I had watched Nancy Tyler's interview in January 2012, and found myself in the same situation which she talked about. She advised that anyone in the same situation she was should call the police. And I did. I was deserted by my community who find my actions wrong without knowing what life has been for me and my kids. They did not know that I slept with a hammer under my pillow at night for years and was scared for my life and what will happen to my kids who he abandoned while I'm still alive. The isolation I felt by my community led me to share what I was going through with my supervisor at work. She gave me a number to call, and that was Interval House. When I tell you that Interval House saved my life, I literally mean that. The women I met at the support group sessions inspired me to be free from the life of abuse, which I had endured for 18 years. They helped me realize that some of the things I shared happened to me was actually abuse. For example, my ex-husband would ask me to stay up all night and would not allow me to read, plan my lessons as I was a teacher then, watch TV, or do any other thing. And he expects me to get up in the morning, get the kids ready to go to school, and then go to work. I was so used to that it became a way of life. And so the women helped me to understand how my experiences were not normal. I could not wait to go there every Monday to share, listen, and get encouragement and advice from the women who shared the same experiences as I did. I felt free, encouraged, and supported. Without Interval House, I may still be in the same situation because I was considering giving him another chance after he completed his anger management classes so that he can come home and pay the mortgage. But the women and the staff of Interval House put life in perspective for me. I may also be dead because I could envision that as a possibility, and it was staring me in the face every day. I gained strength, courage, wisdom, support from the women I met through Interval House. Without Interval House, I may not be here today. The women were like my family, and it was made possible due to the generous support from all of you. Although I was not mandated by any court to go to the support group, I found it very valuable, transformational, and life-changing. The knowledge the Interval House staff impacted in us made us realize that we deserve to be happy and love should not hurt. I also continued to go to the support group for several months after my divorce was finalized. I hope that hearing my story of surviving domestic violence will help you understand the magnitude of the work the Interval House is doing. Without your support, someone like me would have been dead or still be abused by someone who should love them. Interval House also helped me to forgive him and have the courage to set myself free without being in bondage anymore. Please know that your support is being used each day to save lives, lives of women like me. Thank you for your continued support. And I hope that you know that Into the House saves lives every single day. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Lillian. I wish I could reach through this screen and hug and hug and hug and hug you. I know what courage it takes to tell your story. It's a story that's so painful and so intimate, and it matters so very much. It's a wonderful illustration, no matter how painful it's been, of how transformational life can be when you are freed from violence and fear. I can hardly wait for the day I call you doctor. Unbelievable and just magical. You know, 30 years ago, I heard my first story of survival from a victim of domestic violence, and it transformed my life. It transformed my life because I understood that with this work, when you can make a woman safe, keep her safer, when you can give her the tools she needs, the resources she needs to live a life without fear, without violence, her whole world and the world around her changes. You've just heard Lillian's story, and that's what this work does. That's why this work is such a privilege for all of us who do it. And I want to thank you all so much for supporting us. Lillian, God bless you. And thank you for all of the wonderful things. Make sure that we know when you get that doctorate so we can have a real party. And now I'd like to thank all of you who have continued to make donations. We're inching ever closer to our goal, and I hope you will continue to give. Please continue to give so that we can reach our goal of meeting our needs, just meeting our needs. Text to Step Up 2020, text Step Up 2020 to 76 to 78. Again, that's Step Up 2020 to 76 to 78. I'd like for you for just a minute, for all of us, as we sit warm and safe in our homes, to think about Lillian's story. Imagine for a minute that she's your sister, or she's your daughter, or she's your mother, or a friend. What would you do, and how would you help? I'd like now to introduce to you singer and songwriter Kelly English. And we'll take this moment and just exhale and reflect. Kelly?
Thank you, Mary Jane. My name is Kelly English. I'm a musician from the Hartford area. I just want to say thank you for allowing me to be a part of this event. I can't think of a more important cause to be involved with, so I'm going to play a song for you guys. Every day is so wonderful, and suddenly it gets hard to breathe. Now and then I get insecure, and more the pain, I'm so ashamed. But you are beautiful, no matter what they say. Words can't bring you down. You are beautiful in every single way. Words can't bring you down. So don't you bring me down today. To all your friends, you're delirious. You're so consumed in all you do, trying hard to fill the emptiness. The piece is gone. You left the puzzle undone. It's not the way it is. the song inside the tune, and there will be another day. Everywhere you go, the sun will always shine. The song inside the tune, there will be a brighter day. But you are beautiful, no matter what they say. Words can't bring you down. So don't you bring me down today. Don't you bring me down today. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thanks so much, Kelly. That was amazing. So let's check back on our goal. It's pretty fantastic what's going on tonight. You are certainly stepping up for Interval House right now. We want to give you another pitch. Step Up 2020, 76278. That's the text. Text Step Up 2020 to 76278. We see donations coming. Thank you so much, Jan, for your generosity tonight. Thank you so much, Mary, and all the other individuals and corporate sponsors for this evening. This is helping to ensure that Interval House has the funding it needs to help thousands of clients like Lillian every single year. So right now, we're going to transition to a moment of fun, something you've been waiting for, selecting the winner of the Instant Wine Cellar. So the fine folks at GiveSmart have input all of the drawing numbers into a random number generator. And this is 100% legit, totally unbiased. So we have a mental drum roll, please, and the winner of the Instant Wine Cellar, featuring 24 bottles of wine worth more than $1,000, is Donna Kehoe. Congratulations, and I'll text you my phone number afterward to share the wine. The team for Interval House will reach out to you this week to arrange for delivery, and enjoy yourself. Also, to all of you donating tonight, to those who won auction items, remember you're going to receive communication and receipts from GiveSmart shortly if you haven't already, and Interval House will reach out as well. So please keep the donations coming, but I can't see the screen live, but it looks like that thermometer is awfully close to where we were hoping it would be. So one more time, I want to remind you that our homes and our neighborhoods and communities are safer thanks to Mary Jane and the entire team at Interval House. And thank you for letting me join you tonight. And I want to give the screen back to Mary Jane one more time to bring us home. Mary Jane.
Thank you so much, Brad. Thank you, Kelly, for that lovely, lovely song. And thank all of you for being here tonight. Who knew you could go virtual? I am so excited about the progress we've made tonight and so grateful for all of it. Thank you, Lillian. Thank you for having the guts to share your story with us. And thanks again to all of you for putting on your slippers or your stilettos or hopefully something and joining us tonight. It's really been a wonderful, wonderful night. I ran into a quote from Abraham Lincoln last week. I'm kind of surprised I had never seen it before. But Abraham Lincoln said, "The only way to predict the future is to create it." And so I leave you with this tonight. What you have done tonight is help create the future for thousands and thousands of women and children. What you have done tonight is create a space, a time, and an opportunity for women to leave abusive situations, live safer, freer lives, free of violence and fear, and have their very, very best life. So thank you for being with us. Thank you for creating a future we would all really love to see. Have a wonderful weekend and a very happy Mother's Day. Good night.
And we're clear.